Yeah, yeah. I think you're probably right. It really does.
I mean, I wish we could explain it to them. It doesn't seem like it's that complicated. I mean, I should be able to explain to them, well, look, they've basically caught you in a scenario where you've rented your consumption. You don't really own your house because you owe this debt to the federal government, and that money has to be paid to these people. And it doesn't matter whether you borrowed the money or not. The money has been borrowed, and you're accountable. You're a citizen, so you're fucked. And you have to decide whether you want to get unfucked or whether you're going to get fucked. I mean, that's, I just don't know. I mean, it shouldn't be that complex an argument to make to people that, look, we can hurt real people, we can kill them, we can kill 1 billion people, or let's just make it 200 million, all right? We can kill 200 million people in a depression, or we can inconvenience 200 million millionaires. I mean, pick your choice. Kill 200 million people and make them 2 billion people live horrible, miserable, bleak lives, or inconvenience 2 million rich people.
I agree. It does seem, the logic does seem to be unavoidable and ineluctable. Gambry's back. I'll let him go.
The problem is it's too fucking appealing. The public can get things that they really can't afford for what appears to be a low cost to them. And they're going to continue to do so. This love affair with debt is going to continue to happen until it can no longer be obtained.
Well, I know, but they're not going to have no love affair when they watch their entire pension funds are all invested in the stock market, and it's going down one way or another. I mean, it's going to go down. I mean, it'll either go down through inflation a little longer from now, or it'll go down sooner hard. But all the money's gone, so they're going to be poor. And all they're going to have is the government saying, you owe your property taxes, you still owe this, you still owe that, and they're not going to have the money to pay it.
One thing I just don't get, I mean, it's not like everyone who's running this country and the financial system and banks and, major titans of industry, it's not like they're stupid. When we started offshoring all these plants and factories and outsourcing all these jobs, it's not like this was a terribly difficult thing to predict. What did they fucking think was going to happen?
Well, they got yachts. Man, they got yachts, and they got land in Switzerland, and they got all, they're set. They can run the fuck away. They don't have to live here. You think Rupert Murdoch's worried about having to live in the shithole he's going to create?
Reliance on continual upward expansion, not just in the financial sector, but the scientific one as well. They were expecting more breakthroughs to happen in science that would be marketable on a global scale, and that didn't happen. It really didn't happen. There was no...
That doesn't explain debt, though. That doesn't explain the debt. There's no way the debt can ever be paid back. If the federal government started running a surplus for any sustained amount of time to pay back the national debt, that would kill the economy. All right? So there's no growth. You can't have growth when you're paying down debt. So they know that growth, that recession would be substantial to ever have to pay back even a year's worth of this crap, let alone all of it. So it's been unsustainable since World War II. We still have World War II debt on the books. We're still paying for tanks, that fought World War II. We paid like $7,675,000 for every bullet shot in the war. I mean, we paid for it so many for fucking 90 fucking years. Well, 70. I mean, we bought fire trucks 30 years ago, and we've paid like $7 million for them now.
Okay, well then, I mean, that just forces us into making further conclusions, because, we've got these think tanks and government agencies. We've got the RAND Corporation and Council on Foreign Relations and Project for New American Century and the CIA. I mean, they've got some pretty smart people at the CIA, and they game out scenarios like this. They must have known where all this was headed, and they must have known this a long time ago, as in decades ago. So if, the rich have yachts, as you say, and they certainly do, and they have houses in the Hamptons, then one can only draw one possible conclusion, and that's that all these high-level think tanks, and yeah, exactly, Buzz, criminals in action, all these high-level think tanks and government agencies just simply serve the rich or the super rich, and that's their MO, that's their purpose in life. How else can you look at it?
Well, their purpose in life is the next 6 months, so let's not give them too much credit. All right, they don't think too far ahead. But you're right, the CIA has done the stuff, and I'm sure they've published the reports. But it's not what no politician wants to hear it. They can't get elected on it, so it can't be part of the agenda. We are short-term focused. We cannot see. We do not try to use a telescope to see any further than that 6-month thing, and that's where everybody deals, and that's where all the intellectual capital is invested. But I mean, yeah, the CIA explained decades ago that Star Wars is fallacy. There's no fucking way that it goes anywhere. You cannot make a missile defense system. It's preposterously stupid because it will always be a countermeasure. There will always be a more malicious deployment. You cannot make, if you make ballistic missiles null and void, then cruise missiles will become the value, and that will make us less secure. They spelled all this shit out. They told it right to the face of Congress, but Congress can't sell it politically to people because they bought the Ronald Reagan bullshit story. So now we've wasted $150 billion on fallacy, on complete nonsense. I mean, but that's how the system works. So it doesn't matter if somebody in their little cubby in the federal government that wrote a paper explaining how this debt is unsustainable and it'll doom our economy. It's of no meaning to a politician who's worried about the next 2 years at best.
Right. So we have a political system that is just, I mean, all your cheerleading. I don't mean you, Gary. I mean, all the cheerleading from the public at large for democracy, go democracy, and all that. All that aside, we've got a political system that is just fundamentally broken. It's been broken for a long time. It doesn't work. I mean, if that's how it works, you can see to the next quarter, or the really, really far-sighted ones can see 2 years ahead. I mean, you can't have hope in a system like that.
Well, that's why I've always said that we have to get rid of ideas of hope and trust, and that's why we have to create, we should have invested, the next nuclear bomb project to create a lie detector, a reliable lie detector, so then we could have politicians that couldn't tell lies anymore. That would be a huge advance in saving us from this desperate circumstance, because then intelligence couldn't be used to contrive lies anymore. But yeah, it's all built on lies. The whole fucking thing is all built on lies, on top of lies, on top of lies.
And I guess if we're being completely fair and open and above board, we've got to chalk some of this up to the general stupidity of the general public. I mean, anybody who would believe that we can cut your taxes and give you more stuff is pretty dumb at a pretty fundamental level. And that's basically... Yeah, well, and even
if they didn't believe that, they believed that somehow they were going to... They believed the promise that, in the good times we'll cut spending, or in the good times we'll raise taxes, or we'll rebalance the budget in the good times, and that was the big lie. So in the good times they don't cut taxes, in the good times they don't cut, and in the bad times they don't cut. So there's no cutting, and there's more spending, and yeah, it just never works. So, to buy the lie that you could do it in the first place was bad enough, but even the people who knew that if you're going to do it, you should at least cut the spending first, not cut the taxes first. I mean, that was such a dumb move to this idea that, let's cut the taxes first, and then we'll cut the spending. I mean, that was such a fraud.
Yeah, I don't even know what I should add or what needs to be added. Oh, I guess you could add two foreign wars halfway around the world. Let's cut taxes, give people more stuff, and we'll go launch 2 foreign wars halfway around the world. And
yeah, well, we'll make money. It's just so funny. Our rich will make money building cruise missiles, selling them to our government, who's borrowing the money to buy them. It's just so ironic when you think about it. Oh yeah, we'll have huge growth in the economy because we'll all be busy building bombs we borrowed the money to make, so we can blow up stuff somewhere else and then spend the money to rebuild the shit we blew up. I mean, it's a lose, lose, lose. I mean, there's no fucking way to win that scenario. I mean, it's so fucking insane.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what's fucking insane. Oh, I don't know. I mean, the big reset is inevitable, like you say. Big financial reset, economic reset. I don't know what happens, during it. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty rough. Probably there's going to be some shots fired. There's going to be some civil unrest. I don't think we'll go quietly into that good night.
Oh, dude, Sam gets this got her little poofed hair. Oh, that just gets me so horny, that poofed her hair. Oh, damn, I don't know if I can stand it. Anything. I don't like buns. I hate buns, but that poofy bun, now that's something. Yeah, I could go for that poofy bun.
Easy, Tiger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, Zom, do you got anything to add to this? You got any thoughts for the day or for the week?
She just show up, so it's
just fruit copying things here.
Yes, it's just picking fruit. I want fruit. Give me some damn fruit. Yeah, no, we're just doing the economic doom thing, so it's kind of a dead subject, I think. I think we beat it to death. We're all fucked. Blah, 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 blah.
WAF.
Romania's especially fucked, I hear. All the teachers are like, I'm so poor now! I have no money to buy anything! I can't buy cardboard to put on my head! I'm fucking no money!
Well, as fucked as we are, which is obvious, I guess, to some of us, maybe the 1% crowd, there never seems to be any shortage of Pollyannists out there who are willing to find some kind of, rainbow, tinker toy, House of Cards reality that they can place their faith and hope in, that everything's just going to work out. You say it's a dead subject. I agree. We probably beat it to death tonight, but I guarantee you tomorrow there's going to be 100 new people finding ways, unicorny ways to get out of this. Unicorny solutions. It just never ends.
Yeah, well, they're going to keep talking, but I'm just saying it's not going anywhere. I mean, it's game over, and the only way out of the game is, like I said, we have to do a deliberate reset. We have to do a deliberate, careful, methodical reboot, and that's it. And we're not going to, I'm just saying, there's no writing on the wall that indicates that's in the cards, so yeah, it's things are going to turn to shit. I mean, you just can't do it any other way. I mean, people have to become horrifically poor. If the rich aren't going to become poor, regular people are going to become poor.
And doesn't, here's another subject I know has been beat to death, especially by you, but overpopulation. Doesn't this economic catastrophe that we're in the middle of, I don't think it's coming, I think we're in it, doesn't this all trace back to overpopulation? I mean, the fact that there are people willing to work for, $10 a day, that's just too enticing for these companies. They've just got to go relocate their plants over to Bangladesh or Vietnam or China or wherever and take advantage of this cheap.
Well, that's the scary thing of the whole human meme thing. Like, how come these memes are so attractive to people, these religions that, that people accept life on those terms? Most of my babies will die. Most of my kids will live in shit. I mean, the people in Africa, just horrible, horrible living standards. And they just keep popping the kids out like I'm doing them a favor. Hey, look, I gave you life. I hold you up to the sun so that, shitworms can get a little sun. I mean, this is just insane how they live. And you're like, how, I can't make sense of civilized life. And how the fuck do they make sense of living in that horror between, I mean, it's not nature, but it's this dismal, horrible life, and you're just like, this is just insane. Why do people accept this? How do you have a brain and accept it? I mean, I can't even imagine a gorilla saying, yes, I'll go do that. I mean, that little gorilla that lives in the zoo,